and welcome to another episode of Two Beards Podcast. If this is your first time watching, my name is Nick, and this is Levi. If this is your second time watching, those are still our names. So, Levi, what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking the Ninkasi Solar Cruiser Pale Ale. How do I know it's pale? Because it doesn't say it on the website. It's 5.3%, so it's pale ale.
Nice.
Well, I guess it could be like a hef or a something or a lager, but it's not. It's pale ale.
Yeah.
So
5.3. Yeah. That'd be a good lager.
it literally says pale ale on the bottle, just not on the website. But
Weird.
I knew that.
I was thinking that when you said that, I'm like, it says it on the bottle, right? Or am I going crazy?
Yeah. But like,
Ninkasi's just being weird.
You can't.
Yeah.
Why can't I go to Ninkasi's website, buy some beer, and then ship it?
That's a good question.
Right?
Um.
The government is the answer that we're looking for here. But,
Well, yeah, because if I'm a kid and I order that,
they come and check your ID.
well, right. That's what I'm saying.
The mailman.
Well, also, well, yeah, that would be that's ideal. But
That's
I'm
what they
saying
do.
they don't need to check your. Oh, even like
Like if I order like wine or something that I can ship it. Washington's weird. You can't do a lot here.
yeah,
But theoretically, if I could order wine,
you just have to be home when they check your ID.
yeah, they sign it or whatever. Or sometimes they don't because like it's starting to annoy me when people card me. Like it's pretty obvious. I'm fucking old.
Right.
So, but
Yeah. I think it's funny when they card us and then they don't card Jack. That's funny.
yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
It's also funny when like they card Elizabeth and Renee, and like they're like, "Can I see everyone's IDs?" And I don't get mine out, and Elizabeth and Renee get theirs out, and they check it, and they're just
Like, all right, you guys are good.
"What do you guys want?"
I thought so. Yeah, are we done here?
Yeah. So Solar Cruiser Pale, Ninkasi is a brewery out of Eugene, Oregon. They primarily do hoppier styled beers, typically.
Yeah.
Mostly maltier, caramel type hop beers. Very like Northwest IPAs is the category that we have kind of named.
And I was going to say, I'm like, this is a Northwest Pale Ale, that's for sure.
Correct. I mean, you could just look at the color and like
Yeah.
just this deep orange is just like all you need to know, basically.
It's like almost like red in some lights. It's weird.
Yeah. So,
Very bitter for a pale ale, but I don't like how bitter it is for how thin the body is. It's like it's like very bitter and dry and then nothing to back it up.
yeah, it's like
Like it's not bad beer. I'm not saying that. I'm just being nitpicky here.
yeah. I think what happens with a lot of this style of beer is that the just with how hoppy it is up front and that bitterness and then like the aftertaste having those like that grain malts brewery smell
Yeah.
as the aftertaste. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about when you like walk into a brewery and they were just brewing.
Yep. I do taste that. I don't think I'd pick that apart, so it's good.
It reminds it like those two flavors right next to each other always give off like a soapy taste to me.
Yeah. And it's a very nice, it's a very pleasant smell, I think. But tasting them together side by side like that, you're totally right.
Yeah. So I mean, like that is the vibe that this beer gives off. It's not necessarily like bad, but it is. I will say it's slightly off-putting.
Yeah, I'd totally agree. I think this just would do better as an IPA.
Yeah.
Just all off the cuff. Just, I think I had 1.5 sips maybe of that, and it's just.
Well, I think
Yeah.
like when I think of like the art style, which is this yellow and teal solar cruiser, you got some people supping, some nice mountains in the background.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking maybe a lighter prismatic.
Yeah.
Kind of bubbly and fun, fresh tasting, refreshing.
Daisy, like on the verge of Daisy Cutter kind of style.
Yeah.
Like it's in Ninkasi, like they don't do that, but like something along those lines.
Mhm.
So
Not like, I don't know. This tastes like fall to me.
It's making me thirsty. Is what's happening, and I'm already in the hot blazing sun. I don't need to be more thirsty. I'm trying to quench that thirst.
Yeah. But to your point, I do like when pales have pretty bold bitterness. I will say that, like on the pro side of it.
Yeah, I do like that too. But again, it's almost as if like it hits you up front. There's a very big gaping open middle, and then you get some flavor in the back end too. But it's just very empty.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't. Like they keep describing it as melon. I don't think melon has enough robust flavor to carry that through the body of the beer.
Especially for how, well, I wouldn't say especially, I'll just say for how bitter this beer is.
Yeah.
Because like on a much less hoppier, lighter beer, melon's a nice flavor. It can be refreshing. But
yeah, their description is this pale ale was meant for soaking in those bright Pacific Northwest summer days, glide across the serene waters as you create a wake full of floral and melon hop notes. I don't know.
Yeah, again, I think it's just going to make me really thirsty.
The beer doesn't paint that picture to me, personally.
Yeah.
But, hey, to each your own.
It's confusing to be thrown that picture and then try to think where it would work, because my brain is just like, it's not that, but also that's all I can think about now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but fall, I could see fall. That was a good call.
Like, to me, like, okay, keep the same image, but instead of supping, it's a nice fall morning.
Yeah.
Fog is rolling in over the lake, and you're out on a crisp kayaking expedition. You're layered up, like, you know it's going to be cold. Like,
yeah,
you got your sweater on, you got your rainproof jacket. You're geared up just in case you fall in the lake. It's kind of cold out, and you bring some of these along. Then I think, like, you know, the gliding across the waters thing works, but summer days, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not for me. I also don't get people's, not saying this is anything like that at all, but I also don't get people's obsession with like hazy, like big, fat, juicy, sweet, hazy IPAs in the summertime.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am dying of thirst at that point. I can't do that.
No, it doesn't really make sense to me either.
No. I get the idea of why you would think that it works and why you want it, but it just doesn't practically work when you're like sitting in 80-degree sun.
Yeah. You just don't want like it's one thing to start your morning off with some orange juice.
Yeah.
It's another thing to want a glass of orange juice when it's 90 degrees outside.
Exactly, yeah. 100%. I mean, like, I don't love like hefts or kolsches, but like if I'm sitting in the sun and it's 85 degrees out, I thoroughly enjoy a kolsch. Like, those are solid beers to enjoy in that setting.
Still won't enjoy a hef, but a kolsch.
I like, there are some hefts that I have enjoyed, and especially when it's warmer. Exclusively when it's warmer. But yeah, they're not my favorite. They're definitely a little more bready. I think kolsches are a better choice just because they're less bready.
Yeah.
A little bit more thin typically. So, but man, wouldn't hate some more of my fishing, buddy. Tell you.
So you'll be proud.
Okay.
I watched the Terminal List.
Oh, nice. Nice. What do you think of it?
I actually watched the series.
Yeah. Was it better than Tomorrow War?
Yeah.
Okay.
6.5, 7 out of 10. Maybe 7 out of 10. I think.
that's very fair. What from the beginning of the show, was it off-putting? Like, did you have to get into it a little bit, or was it something that you kind of got into right away, but then there were just things here and there you were like, eh?
So I was into it. One of the things I did though is I stopped about 20 minutes into the first episode and I rewatched the beginning.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's chaotic.
Yeah,
and
I don't know what's going on.
And I think they didn't have time, but I would have liked to build a relationship with the crew.
Yeah, I agree.
I just didn't like when
you don't
they
care
started
about them
dying,
as
I
much
just
as,
didn't. I was like, well, and in the reason why I rewatched it too is because I thought they were going to go back to these different characters to some level,
right?
Which they did kind of with one guy, but that was it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember any of those people. Like, what did they do? What was their role in this operation? Like, I couldn't remember.
Well, like when they were first interrogating him after maybe interrogating is the right word, but they basically were interrogating Reese after that failed mission, and he was like, "Oh, this person did that," and James Reese was like, "No, that was definitely this person."
And I'm like, I don't know who either of them.
Yeah, I don't know. Could have been either one for all I know. I don't know. Remember? Yeah. No, I'm with you. It was a combination. I'm like, I don't know who that fuck any of these guys are, and then like because they had to do it so quickly, like I didn't really care that like about the characters, so I'm like, oh no, they're dead. But
the other thing, like it set up to be more of a psychological thriller than it was. Like within 2.5 episodes, you're like, this is no longer a psychological thriller. This is just a thriller, like an army thriller. And I was like, that was really disappointing to me.
I 100% agreed. I thought it was going to be more of that, like, what is real kind of shit, but
sketchy military technology, like maybe not even like what is real, but also like therapy sessions, injecting memories into his head, changing audio files, you know, like slowly convincing him things, like that kind of stuff. And like,
but that was all of one episode. Yeah. And then the next episode, you're like, oh, okay. So
his memory just sucks.
Got it. And even that, like, even after like the first 2 episodes, his memory really wasn't a problem throughout the show.
Yeah.
It was more of just like his health condition.
Exactly.
So
it kind of just dropped that whole plot line.
Yeah, it was a little odd. Like even just dumb shit and like, oh yeah, I forgot I didn't do this. Like could have been nice to like keep that thread throughout, but it just dropped it.
And then like the ending was just like shit writing.
Yeah, it was.
Frankly.
100%. Yeah, I told Renee too. I'm like, I don't really like how that ended.
Yeah. It was like, you just knew it was coming from the very beginning, and it was like,
right.
Wow, what a cliffhanger or something.
Oh man, yeah.
Wild.
Pretty much saw that coming.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, there's just things like that. And like even his brother and that chick and that whole group, like you still don't really know like their interactions, like why they're
you got one of it with the chick, right, where he like rescued her when her helicopter crashed, like, so that was nice at least, but like that was the only character you got that with. The Mexican family,
no idea really.
No idea other than I think he served with his dad.
Yeah.
But like that was like a 1-sentence thing, and then that was that, and I'm like, I don't really feel the emotional tie that you guys have.
Their tie was like close family, like we're gonna look out for each other, like give up everything for each other, but we were like, he saved you once, and like, oh, he's been to your house before, like,
right?
It's kind of weird.
Okay, all right, yeah. Again, with the helicopter chick, that one helped make it make more sense, because then you could at least think like, okay, you know, they probably had a close relationship after that and whatnot since that day. So, but everyone else are like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it moved. I think the whole thing just moved too fast.
Yeah, definitely. Like that, and I'm with you. Like, I get the constraints they had because they did tell the whole story of one book, in those 8 episodes, whereas, and I normally don't advocate for this, they could have elongated it and turned it into like 2 seasons for the one book.
I was going to say, I think it would have been better if this first season ended with, and I'm trying not to spoil too many things, but it's just like, and this isn't really a spoiler, this is like first episode. The entire season should have ended with his family dead.
Yeah.
And they spent a lot more time, you spent a lot more time pre-story with the crew.
Yep.
A lot more time on the psychological aspect.
Yeah, they could do successful missions. I would like to have seen a successful mission with that crew, right?
Yeah.
So
kind of got everyone's role, who they were.
Yep.
Maybe the accident happens. Well, maybe the thing happens in episode 2, or and then like 3 and 4 is like him struggling with his memory, doing the funerals, what's his face dying. 5 and 6, like him starting to be like, no, it's not just my memory. I'm catching on.
Something's going on here, yeah.
And then like his family dies at the end.
Right. Yeah, I that would have been a lot better.
And then you're like, what the fuck?
And say you only do 6 episodes for a season, right?
Yeah.
To just help like make it not too long. Yeah. That would have been better. I think I enjoyed it because it was refreshing in the sense that it was a good story and it was shot very well, and it was just cool to have like a decent, I don't know what you'd call it, just like a military series, I guess, of some sort.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely better than like a lot of the shit that comes out. So
yeah, that's for sure.
Did you guys end up watching that movie with Jason Statham?
No, not yet. I actually went to go look for it the other day and I forgot what it was called, and then I just didn't go back to our text to find it because I'm like, that's up there. Huh?
Oh, and then we also watched The Boys.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I thought that was pretty good too.
I thought it was better than the second season, I think.
I agree.
I
thought it was funny that they made fun of a lot of the wokeness,
like
that's
the
going
Kylie
about.
Jenner stuff, and
Pepsi,
handing the Pepsi. To me, though, it's a little exhausting. Everything getting compared to like today,
a little bit,
because like I deal with it every day. I need to like sit down and watch a show and deal with it again.
Yeah, I think Jack talked about it with the new Star Wars stuff, where he's like, I don't want to be berated with this like sexism, racist, and like political agenda bullshit. He's like, I watch this stuff to escape all that. Like, yeah. I don't that fucking stuff annoys the hell out of me, and I want to just enjoy something.
Well, and you just even the kind of the premise of sexism and racism in like an Alien series is weird, because it's like,
oh my god,
these are different species, like entirely. It's not just like skin colored bullshit, and then like gender, like in sexism, like there could like be, I mean, I guess, to be politically correct, there can be multiple sexes and genders here, but like totally different when you're talking about like totally different species, like things that may not even be like properly humanoid.
Exactly, right.
Like, it's just weird to think that those same issues would translate over into a completely different universe.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. There was on that topic, little diverging a little bit. So with the new Jurassic Park that came out, I caught like a snippet of an interview from Laura Dern, who's a fucking self-righteous cunt, and so she was talking about like how inappropriate it was for her character and Sam Neill's character, Dr. Grant, like for them to like have a relationship because of how much older he is than her. And I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, first off, Sam Neill looked amazing in the first Jurassic Park. Like, and even now, like that dude's aged pretty well. I mean, he's pretty old and he looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, I'm like, isn't all of your like sexist bullshit like supposed to be like you can just do whatever the fuck you want? Like age doesn't matter. Like why is it okay for a man but not a woman to do XYZ? And
it's a weird thing where like they just read into it's like they read the best intentions into the woman. Oh, she's empowered if she's doing these things.
Right.
She's living her life. But they read the worst intentions onto the man. Oh, he's manipulated this woman.
right.
And like, say that's true. Say both of those things are true. We're still in a fucking gray area. Like the woman's empowered because she's making her own decision, and the guy's still being manipulative because he's powerful or whatever. Like whatever the
Right.
fucking situation is around him. But it's like you can't have it both ways.
There's clearly some issues going on here. Yeah. No, 100%. It was just so weird. I was like, where the fuck did that come from? I'm like, now you're gonna make this the center of attention for this. I'm like, I had no idea.
Well, it's like
they both looked in their mid-30s to me.
Yeah,
at that time. I don't know.
But also, it's like a movie too. So
exactly,
like,
they're characters.
Who the fuck cares?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Is Kamala Harris empowered or a victim of sucking a dude's cock and becoming the vice president? Like that's what I would ask that chick.
Depends who's asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends who's asking. Like, you go get that dick, girl, but because you wanted to, and he's a scumbag for wanting you to, even though you want to.
He's the bad person, and you're the good.
Even though you wanted to do
even
it.
Though you wanted.
Yeah. Good. Good job. I don't know, man.
Sometimes it feels like we're the boomers being like, what the fuck are these kids talking about these days? But then all these people are talking are like older than us too. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. I feel that way all the time. I'm like, how old am I? And I'm like, no, fuck you guys. It's I'm not the one who should be questioning myself right now. I don't know. There's something else to that. Oh, yeah. I was Kamala Harris, and that got me thinking about AOC's just fucking random fucking craziness lately.
Arrested, but not arrested.
Like, at all. Like, she was probably just escorted off the premises by a cop and then just went home afterwards.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
My big booty. My favorite big booty Latina.
That was, okay, so you sent that video to me, and that was the funniest shit I'd ever seen in my entire life to date. And then
to clear it up, I sent him AOC's reaction to Alex Stein making those comments. I didn't send it to Alex Scott. It's just a 5-second clip of AOC being like, he was describing my ass, my big juicy ass or whatever.
He didn't say juicy, by the way.
He didn't.
But irrelevant. But the point was made. But so then you sent me that video of Alex in the
like Plano courtroom or whatever.
Yeah, like town hall meeting or whatever the fuck that is. And that was funny as shit. And then on my own, I saw his video talking at AOC, and that's when I started piecing everything together.
Got it, yeah.
Oh,
that's who that is.
All of this is making so much sense now. I get who these people are and what is happening and why they said the things they are saying.
Correct.
Yeah, and his video was fucking hilarious. And I, if he was gay, that probably would have been fine, right? So.
I mean, if he wasn't Republican. Well, I don't even know if he's a Republican, to be honest.
That's
I
fair.
have really no idea what his political beliefs are.
It's fair.
If he wasn't, if he was a progressive, would have been totally fine.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, I just seems like the guy's complimenting you. I don't know what to tell you. Is it a little crude? Yeah, maybe, you know, just to be yelling that in public. But I don't, you know, roles reversed. If,
coming off of AOC like a week before, telling people to harass Brett Kavanaugh at a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. It's all fucking two-faced, hypocritical bullshit. Like everything that woman says ever, she has contradicted herself at some point or will contradict herself at some point with said information. Without fail, there's not a single thing that she has said that is not a paradox. It's insane.
She's fucking stupid.
She's an absolute fucking... I don't think I can... I'm not saying it or calling someone this now. I'm just saying the word. I don't think I can call someone a retard on social media without that social media being like, whoa.
Yeah, I got a temp ban for it on Twitter. Hasn't stopped me.
Nice.
I just keep calling people that because...
Yeah, I called someone a tard on Instagram and my comment got deleted.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, all right, guess I can't do that. Whatever. I mean,
we'll do it again tomorrow, but
yeah. I guess they don't like it. I don't know. Good stuff.
It's is it offensive? Yes.
Is it supposed to be?
Yes. Is it supposed to be offensive towards people that experience mental retardation? No.
No, not at all.
But like to me, like I was getting into it on Twitter and people were like, this white man X, straight white man Y. Oh, you love guns. You have a tiny cock. I'm like, all of these things are also immutable characteristics that someone cannot change and that really has no relationship to like what they're saying, the content of their character and everything. But that's totally fine and accepting.
Well,
like I literally had people being like, I can't believe you used the word retard. And then 2 minutes later being like, you're a white man with a tiny cock. And it's like, do you not?
why is one okay?
Yeah.
The other?
Like, if it was all the same rules.
Then I'd be like, I don't agree with you, but
Yeah, I think
at least
you
you're
guys
consistent.
I think everyone should be able to say whatever they want. You should hate me because I'm a white man and think I have a tiny cock. That's totally fine.
Totally.
There's more power to you.
Yeah.
Weird how much you think about my dick, but good for you.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, I don't I just have yet to hear an explanation of why the traits they dub as toxic masculinity, which is the most bullshit statement I've ever heard in my entire life. Like why is that bad? Why are those things bad? And why are the things that you think are good?
No, there's no rules.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's just they don't like it, so they call it toxic, and you can't argue that. You're like, okay.
Well, they don't even explain why it's toxic. It just
No,
is.
yeah, they just say it is.
It
so
just is,
it is,
and then it's and it used to mean like a thing that was also associated with masculinity, but now like because that isn't a thing to them anymore, they just say like whatever you do that's somewhat right wing is inherently masculinity because women
and that it's toxic.
Because women can't also believe that.
But I think I could be wrong. It could just stem from bullshit accusations like this. But I think it stemmed from like a legit perspective, right? Where like, you know, men were, you know, even in our parents' day, it was like not good for men to show emotion. You know, I that's a very broad way of saying it, but you know, it was.
I don't think that's toxic masculinity. I think that's being a civilized person.
Well, to an extent, yeah.
Everyone stop showing so much emotion.
You should stop being as emotional as you are.
This is positive masculinity. Men are good
Trending.
at saying this, at doing this behavior, and women should try to do that as well.
It's why we're so good at making decisions, because we're not emotional about it.
Yeah.
So.
But that's what I mean. Like,
just because it's a bad thing sometimes, it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
I always say that when people bring up how bad social media is because of comparison, and I'm like, I get that it can be to a detriment, but comparing yourself to another person is also a very good thing. It's how you improve yourself.
Yeah, and like decision making, also, and like, I mean, it still comes down to decision making, but this is why, like, you know, in the army, like, you are given orders and stuff, and they're to be operated against, and standard operating procedures, so your emotions in hard time don't cloud your actions.
Right.
Like, it's for a successful purpose.
Right.
Is there bad things that come out of that? Should every part of your life operate in that same way? No.
Yeah, no.
That doesn't make it a toxic behavior, and it doesn't make it inherently masculine either, even if men are more capable of operating in that mode than women.
Totally. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, what makes operating not emotionally masculine, right? Like you said, it's good for women in some situations to operate that way too. So what's masculine about that?
No, and actually, like, women who can operate in that in like movies and films and stuff, where like you have hero protagonists that are like spies or in tough situations like domestic abuse relationships, and women who can move past their emotional fragility into this more stoic, you know, logic and ambition drive, are often regarded as like heroes.
Look at Black Widow, right?
Yeah.
Where you see both sides of her. She has an emotional side, and then she has the I'm on a mission and I have to complete the mission, stoic, you know, operating. And yeah, that's very attractive. It's like, you know, for someone to be able to operate that way, it's like you said, it's like hero qualities, really.
Well, and just like, but like to a lot of people, it's empowering if women operate in those modes. And it's like, how is that empowering when you're saying it's a toxic masculine trait?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Just because a woman's doing it. Like, it's just, it's so fucking backwards.
Yeah, and then, you know, caring for a child is sexist.
Yeah.
Because, you know, children don't need to be cared for.
No. They're to be just discarded at any moment.
Speak when spoken to, you know. Let's be honest here. But yeah, it stems from everything else that those people say, think, or do, and there's just no logic behind any of it. So
we did also watch about 7 or 8 minutes of the new Expanse.
Oh yeah, what did you think of the 7 or 8 minutes? Because what's funny you say that.
We stopped it because I couldn't do it.
I also did that the first time. I literally watched about 7 or 8 minutes, and I was like, I'm not doing this right now.
I literally did that.
I
was like, off. I can't watch this.
I'm not doing this. And then
it was shitty.
Yeah,
like you could just.
It was boring.
Well, you could just tell like the actors weren't really into it. It was boring.
Agree.
It was like there was just no like passion.
But then when Jack and I talked to those other dudes, we're like, no, you gotta watch it. I was like, okay. So I did end up going back and watching it, and it does get better. I'm with you because I did, and you might like it less than I do, but I will say it does get way better because I had the exact same experience.
Well, that's good to hear. I was gonna stick it through. It's just like that night I was like, no.
Yep, I did the exact same thing. I watched about like less than 10 minutes of it, and I was like, no. And then I didn't watch it for maybe like another month, and then I finally went back to that after they said to stick it out.
Yeah, we'll definitely watch it. It was just like, oof.
Not in the mood to be able to push past this right now.
No.
Yep, I get that. I've been going more and more quickly now because Renee has been a little bit more tired early on in the night. So she'll like go to bed like an hour before me. So I'm like, well, time to watch some Peaky Blinders. And that has been fucking awesome.
I wish we had Netflix for that.
You might.
Sorry. I wish it moved off Netflix.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
I think we're somewhere in the like beginning middle of the second season.
Okay. I think,
Maybe middle of second season.
I think I'm in the middle of the third season now.
Yeah.
I think.
I think I told you before you got to it, but that season 1 ending to season 2 jump is crazy.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Crazy.
Yes, it was.
You're like, did I miss like a season? Did I go to season 3?
Yeah, I literally checked. I think I literally paused it so I could see what episode I was on. I was like, episode 1.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, what the communist guy, he completely gets removed. He's just dead now.
Yeah.
And
there's 6. The 6th season just came out.
Of Peaky?
Yeah, it finished up the beginning of April.
Okay.
So only 6 episodes. Are they all 6 episodes?
I got my controller working with Warzone.
Xbox
on my computer.
Controller?
Yep.
Was that like a whole thing?
No, I just plugged it in and it pretty much worked. I had to change some settings to get like my controls and everything. It was a little weird because I didn't know like how to set it up on the PC, but yeah, it's all working.
Nice.
It's operating somewhat smooth, but like I get like lag when I start shooting at someone and get hit registration, and when they shoot at me, my frames drop. So it's kind of weird.
That is weird.
So I gotta keep
tinkering with like your I don't know what you.
I probably need to open up like my control panel to see if it's like a CPU thing. Is it a GPU thing? I don't know what it is, but
yeah,
I played like 2 minutes of a Warzone match, like just to like. I basically hopped into Warzone and tried my controls, and then I had to like keep adjusting things until I got it how all my settings were.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't know if I have like tap to slide or toggle to slide. I didn't know all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I finally got it like working where I was like, okay, this feels like I'm back on my Xbox basically.
But a little bit better.
But better.
Nice.
And then now I gotta like fucking just optimize it from there.
I get that. Yeah. Well then shit, I guess I'll do that with the Xbox controller because I don't know what it was. I think because I was trying to think about it in relation to a desktop computer, an older desktop computer, where I was just in the mindset where I'm like, you can't use an Xbox controller with, or maybe it was even an older Xbox controller that it actually didn't work. Like maybe like the 360 controllers, maybe that's what I was thinking. I don't know.
Probably.
But yeah, glad to hear that works because, I mean, PlayStation's fine, but I like Xbox controllers way more.
Same.
So I am on episode 1 of season 4 now, apparently. So I'm fucking flying through this. Where I was doing like an episode a month, now I'm like
an episode a day.
Honestly, though, that's
what
it's been. Yeah, it has been an episode or 2 a day.
Maybe 3 if it was a really good one.
It was really good. I can't stop now. Shit. Change the subject completely. So, I'd like to give a thank you to Apple Corporation for trusting me with money. It's really appreciated because ever since they did that, do you recall that fucking card I was trying to get the amp?
No.
Through Sweetwater? And it was like, I'm trying to remember. So it was a company, Sweetwater, it was like a Guitar Center.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get their credit card because for a while they had a promotion going on where it was 48 months no interest, and I was like, holy fucking shit, that's crazy. And so the payments would be like $25 a month for this fucking amp. I'm like, I like won't even
do 50 and then pay it off in half the time.
Exactly right. And I'm like, even if I did do the minimum, like, first off, if I did the minimum payments, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be snobby in a way, but I'm just like, I would not even notice that happened. I would just be like, oh, okay, I guess I got more to drink on Saturday night. But so they don't have that promo anymore, but they do have the 24 months. So yeah, like about $50 a month, which is still very doable. And it was just like a whole thing that like I was pre-approved for them, like way back when they had the 48-month thing. It was pre-approved, or sorry, pre-qualified. And then when I went to apply, they all right, sorry. Let me back this up. This is a long time ago that I did this. And so the pieces of the story are coming back to me now. When I first did it, it asked me how much the purchase was I wanted to make. And I was like, my mind, I was like, no, fuck you. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you to determine how much credit you give me off of what my purchase is.
Okay.
I'm just like, because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, they'll just give me, based off my credit score, how much I can get.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. They approved me for like $500 or maybe even less than that. And I was like, that's not going to work. So I pre-qualified again and wrote in like $1,200 and then I got approved for that. So I was like, okay, fuck you. Like, why did you
should have just done like 20,000.
Apparently, that's what I need to start doing for this shit now. I'm new to this game, and I didn't know how these assholes worked. And then I got to thinking, I was like, well, the amp is $1,200, so that's not even including tax. So, shit, I should probably say like $1,300,
Yeah.
Did it for $1,300, and they're like, no. I'm like, what? Like $100 more, and you just say no. You don't say, "Oh, sorry, you don't get approved for $1,300, but you do get approved for this $1,200." They're just like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, what the fuck?" And so, I think then I like actually applied for the credit card and then just got denied, and I was like, "Jesus Christ, this is fucking horseshit." So then I waited. They say you like reapply like every like 2 or 3 months. So I waited like 2 or 3 months, applied again for the or I didn't even apply. I just tried to pre-qualify, and that they do not pull your credit report for that. And I got denied. And so I called them up. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like what kind of business are you trying to run here? What's going on here? Like, I need some whys, I'm just getting a lot of no's and not a lot of whys. And I also came to find out they did run my credit. They should not have, and I don't know how or why. Weird. Because when I was filling the thing out, they're like, this will not affect your credit score.
Well, they run it, but it's like a soft run. It's not like a hard, like there's a soft check and a hard
check.
Right.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But so I asked, I can't remember who I was talking to. I think I was talking to the credit card company. And they said, they're like, no, it was hard checked. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, It literally said it will not affect that. It's a soft check. And so I was pissed about that. And so that's when later down the road, Apple was like, hey, your road to Apple Card, because I also applied for them a while ago, and they said no. And they're like, your road to Apple Card is complete. You can apply again. And I was like, okay, what are the fucking odds they just randomly accept me now that nothing has changed? They accepted me even though nothing had changed. So I was like, okay, cool. And so I was like, okay, now that I got this Apple Card, I actually have like credit on my name. Let's try applying for this fucking card again and see what happens. And then I finally got approved for that. So my amplifier is on its way after like 8 months of random nonsense bullshit. So that's my story. I don't understand.
Give me a lot to process.
Yeah, I don't understand
the
why.
whole credit thing is just, it's all bullshit.
It is all bullshit.
You just gotta play the game.
That's really what it is. Yeah. Yeah. And Renee's like, don't even try it again. I'm like, no, because I know they're just which is what happened. They're just going to approve me one day, even though nothing's changed, and you're just like playing the game. I mean, that was Apple, right? I'm like, I think they made me wait like 3 months. They're like, if you make all your payments on time for 3 months, you could try again and you'll be good. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't see why that's your gauge of approving me, but it was. So, I don't know. I mean, my credit's not amazing by any standard, but it's certainly not bad.
Yeah.
So, it's all... I've never, ever in my life understood that shit. I mean, it's like we talked about too, where like they almost... You get penalized for late payments, but then you also get penalized for paying off your debts.
Yeah, like if you have no debt.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
It's so stupid.
Like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Like, I closed one of my student loan accounts this, like, past month or whatever, a couple months ago or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, my credit score dropped because of that.
Yeah. I'm like, sorry, I'm trustworthy? I don't... What's
like,
the problem?
I literally paid, like, $5,000 to close the account.
It's crazy.
And they're like, docking you.
Don't you dare do that again,
you
young
dare
man.
pay back your debts.
We don't want your money. We want more of your money later.
Wait till Bo Jiden forgives it next time, bitch.
Have you been getting those emails?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're like, if you're like a fucking, they call it like a service worker, which is a terrible thing to call it because it's not really what they're asking for.
Yeah, I'm not going to qualify for any of that shit. So I'm like,
yeah, they explain, they're like, oh, have you been in the, I think it's like if you are a, like if you work for the government.
Yeah.
Or
military.
A military or a nonprofit.
Yep.
And I'm like, nope.
None of that.
Never done, never will do, don't want to do. Hate all that.
Recruiting is down like a crazy amount for the military.
I heard
like
that. I think Jack was
amount.
saying that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Have you heard theories of why?
I think it's just like because no one fucking likes the government. We have a generation of snowflakes, and
that's true.
You know, we were in Afghanistan for 20 years, didn't accomplish a single thing, and the military industrial complex sucks, and you know, it just and now the military is even going woke. So like even the pro military people don't like the military. So congratulations, everybody hates you.
On base, granted it's the emergency center, but on base, on the bathrooms they have signs that say like, use which bathroom that you best identify with. I'm like, how about you just fucking fuck off? Ever think of that?
You know, like I don't know if it's the case for that, but I will say the best thing that came out of the whole bathroom bullshit is like just move into just independent stalls. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
So nice.
Yeah, I agree. It's not like that, sadly. There.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's not. But like,
work there, but
it's great going to Crown, and like, there's no such thing as like men's, women's. There's just like full, like just single stall bathrooms. It's just like, this is great.
I am pro that.
Yeah.
Yes, use any bathroom you want, as long as I'm the only one in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we're all fine.
It's a win-win.
It is a win-win. Everyone's happy.
Actually, there's a group of men who love talking at the urinal. It's a loss for them.
I think they're all pedos, though, so I think that we're okay that they're losing.
I don't know. Like, there's people...
If you're talking... Come on.
I know, I'm with you. Like, we've had this conversation. Like, I pretend... Like, if I walk past you in the bathroom, we don't exist. We're very good friends. We don't exist.
No.
Even when we're washing hands, don't exist.
Like, I might accidentally give a nod.
Yeah.
That'll be about it.
But, like, pretty much just...
Yeah. You know, it's ironic that it's the exact opposite for locker rooms, right? Isn't that kind of weird? Where, like, dudes in the bathroom are like, don't even fucking look at me. In the locker room, it's like, no. This is where we can let it all hang out.
I don't do that either.
Like, I don't do that, but that's, right? Like, it's a different...
No, but those people who do that, they're the ones who are like, hey, how's it going, man? While you're taking a piss.
You might be right.
Same
probably
dudes.
is. Yeah, there probably is a correlation there. That would make sense. You don't notice it because you're in the locker room.
Yeah. You're surrounded by them.
Weird. It's interesting how they won the locker room territory, but we won the bathroom territory. Because it's
I think they're going to lose the locker room territory too. Eventually, it'll be like just good. The single stalls and.
Well, yeah, especially if you're just like fucking letting men in a women's locker room, like that's just not okay.
But it sounds great. Like you got a little shower, you got a toilet, you got your locker, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I would love that. I thought you were saying it sounds fantastic, like being a man in the women's locker room. Like, you got tits hanging out, and it's great.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very safe.
Yeah,
but who am I but a man?
A toxic masculine man.
So true. We'll just sit here and drink beer.
Speaking of,
yeah, you're vastly approaching.
Solar's getting low, big guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought you were texting somebody, and turns out we're just done here. So
you can go through and disagree, agree, add on, take away.
So look, we got a very red orange, and it looks very weird for a pale ale. Nice even head, and it's a bit warmly tinted. Because you've had those like straw yellow beers that are very like cool tinted. Very warm looking beer. There's nothing else left to say about that. The head sticks around, which is kind of nice. It's pretty fluffy.
Yeah.
The smell, you said it's got that like we were talking about the back end of the taste, that very like multi-grain like mid-brew smell. I have not smelt this beer once, so
it just smells like a brewery. Honestly.
But yeah, you're right.
Which if you like that smell, then probably smells good.
Which is kind of a funny comment, right? Like for people who don't drink beer, they're like, well, of course it smells like a brewery. It's a beer, idiot. But that's you don't...
I just think of is it Jay's dad?
Probably.
Neil's dad.
The gay one.
Yeah.
It's Neil's dad.
It smells like a brewery in here, and they're not even drinking.
No,
they literally don't have beer.
They literally have like vodka, I think, and that's like it.
Beefy gin.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, what do you mean it smells like a brewery? What?
He just walks in.
Fucking
smells like a brewery in here.
Well, that's weird.
Watch the English version of The In-Betweeners, not the American version. Don't be crazy, but go watch the English version of The In-Betweeners. It's a great show. 3 seasons, 2 movies.
True. Moving on to taste. It is crazy better up front, especially for a pale ale. A bit melony and light throughout.
Dude, it looks like I don't got hair on my pits on the camera.
It does look that way. I barely don't. You don't have a lot either. I don't have a lot.
I trim mine.
Oh, okay. I don't, and I just don't have a lot.
I can grow like a whole like
lion's mane. Yeah. No, I can
braid them.
No, mine's very normal and manageable. Which is when I was younger, I didn't like that because I'm like, oh, I'm not a toxic man. I wish I was, but now I'm like, this is nice that I don't have to worry about it. It's great. And finishing off the taste, like we just talked about, it ends with that like brewery, malty, grainy kind of taste in the back end. It's just not a very cohesive beer. It starts strong. There's a big gaping hole in the middle, and then it ends strong as well. And it's just kind of weird because it just doesn't flow very well. So yeah. We really hit a lot of this stuff, like pretty much everything right up front. We kind of nailed this beer up front.
Yeah, it's funny because
that normally doesn't happen.
Well, sometimes the experienced beers change, like as you drink more of it.
Yeah, as
one might warm up a little bit. Like there's a lot of factors that go into the change, but this has stayed pretty consistent, honestly.
Yeah, no, 100%. And even though we were saying a lot of comments up front, I felt the need to be like, yeah, this is just, first impressions. Even though, now at the end of the beer, like you said, like, it's just weird because I think most beers, we've had good beers that do it, we've had bad beers that do it, where they just change pretty significantly throughout drinking even just one, nonetheless 2 whole beers. And so we have a lot more to say at the end of, or like the middle of our second beer. But yeah, I mean,
well, to be fair, we did spend quite a bit of time talking about this beer up front.
No, for sure. But I think
more than normal.
But I think, yeah, that is true. But I think it because everything was just so in your face, and it was a little, at least for me, because you'd had it prior. It was just a bit jarring. What?
Yeah.
Don't put that. No, that's never happened.
Yeah.
Do you have a tumor?
Probably. Yeah, the Valley.
Probably. Oh. Was that the one beer where I said surprise me?
Yep.
Crazy, dog. That makes sense. I could see that now. I would never have thought about that because it was so not memorable. But yeah, I could see that now because I remember, like, that is what I said that day. I was like, wow, this is really bitter. That was like the one thing I had to say about it. That's funny.
And you're like, is this from Ninkasi?
I did say that, yeah. Oh, yeah, wow.
Totally
I forgot I said that, and I did say that. That's really funny. That's
how, like, distinct Ninkasi is with most of their beers. Just like,
yeah,
if like they have a particular flavor that they're good at. They've a couple beers that deviate. Don't get me wrong, but like they got a flavor that they like.
Yeah, 100%. And for someone who's only, I mean, I guess I can't say this anymore. I'm gonna continue to claim that I'm not from here and that I'm new, but
yeah,
I've been here for a bit now, dude. It is now over 3 years.
Yeah, you're not new.
It's crazy, dog. That's crazy. Yeah, but even still, I have not been drinking Ninkasi for that long, and it's very characteristic. Like every single, it's like, I think they're more characteristic even than Georgetown, which even them, you're like, oh wow, carbs on point. Similar Georgetown body.
I think the body of Georgetown is what gives it away. These guys, what gives it away is that like malty taste.
Yeah.
I think I could probably pick out a Stone beer. I think it'd be a little bit more difficult because they got crazy flavors going on, but I like,
think you're right.
But they got a particular hop taste going down too.
Yeah. I think Stone's a good one, but definitely Ninkasi. I think they might be like number one, like recognizable beers. Even if, like you could pick it out of a line for sure.
Yeah,
which I did.
Yeah.
Actually, there wasn't even a line. I was like, oh, it's fucking Ninkasi, and it was. But it's not a bad thing. Like,
no,
I feel like that's coming off like it's a negative thing, but it's not. Because I love Stone. I think Ninkasi's hit or miss for me.
I agree.
But I love Stone.
Well, I would say Ninkasi has like how I always describe it is Ninkasi has a good time period to drink their beers.
Yeah.
Like I think fall to winter is like November, Thanksgiving is like a perfect Ninkasi beer kind of thing.
I agree.
So I think everyone has their thing. Fine.
That's fair. Yeah, totally agree. Critiques, we already stated everything. So critiques just doesn't fit that summer vibe.
Yeah.
Just kind of weird. Like he just said, Ninkasi's definitely a nice fall vibe. Thoughts. Hello. Is one thing that I don't think, you did talk about.
I did talk about the kayak on a fall foggy day would be better.
So shit. Rating, something that literally has not even crossed my mind once in this podcast. Normally I kind of have an idea. I have no idea right now.
I'm good, so.
I'm gonna be harsh, but I'm good.
Get your fucking cursor off of my name.
Sorry.
This is my lawn,
Get
bitch.
your fucking cursor. Wife, out your...
All right. 3, 2, 1. 2.9. Are you in the okay or the fine?
I'm in the fine. I was going to say, I was about to just be like 2.9. But then I was like, that's when I said, I was like, I'm going to be a little bit more harsh on this one. So I think we think the just exact same thing about this beer.
Yeah, so fine is concept is there, not well executed, and that's 2.5 to 3. Below that's okay, which is an underdeveloped concept, and then above that, which is good, is the solid. It's solid. The concept is there and it's well executed, but it's just like it's a solid beer kind of thing.
Yeah,
I was teetering right on the edge of 3 because I was like, I do enjoy the beer.
yes,
like
that's why I almost gave it.
It's a hoppy pale. I do like the melon.
Yeah.
Like there are things about it that I think are good.
Yeah.
But it's just not cohesive and the vibe is just not right. And I think I'm a big the beer needs to match the vibe kind of person.
Yeah.
I never want to drink like a fucking milk stout in the middle of August when it's while we're playing cornhole and it's 90 degrees out, right? Like that just doesn't make any sense. So if like that's true, it's true for the other like scenarios as well. And yeah, it's just not. It doesn't hit right in summer, frankly. It just doesn't.
No, I 100% agree. I was my first thought was a 3, 2.9. Like either way, definitely in that fine category. But the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Like, I think I'm even now just starting to question the concept to the point where I think it could be underdeveloped. I still wanted to keep in that fine category because I still think I would sway that way where I'm like, I can see what you wanted, but it's just not very well done.
You can write yours in, by the way.
Oh, okay, I will do that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
You gotta go on record.
I understand. Trust me, I stand by what I said. 2.5, fine. Fine. Not very good. No, it is good. It's fine.
What moved it up from being okay to fine for you?
I think just the fact that it like is a good tasting beer. Like nothing is like really that off-putting about it. It's more along the lines of like they just didn't do it well.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of pushed it up for me. And I was never in that B category. That never once. It was somewhere within a C, whether it was like the higher C or the lower C. I was there for sure. Yeah, it just needs to be refined some more. Just make it a little bit more cohesive, make the drinking experience flow a little bit better. There's just 3 very distinct chapters, and it's a jarring experience every time you reach a new part of the beer. Like from the beginning to middle to end, it's very jarring. So.
Yeah, it's not cohesive.
Again, overall, I like the beer. Would I buy it? Probably not. I'll just say no, actually, because there's 1.5 million other pale ales that I think work better, especially for this time of year. If someone had brought this over in the fall at the cabin, I'd probably like it a lot more. So, I don't know. That's all I got for it. I would like to like it more, but I don't know.
Well, that's the episode. I mean, I don't have anything else to say.
Get the fuck out of here.
If you've had the beer, let us know what you think. If you've made it this far, you might as well subscribe.
True.
Comment. Does the beer sound better? Did we grade it too harshly? Does it sound disgusting? If it does sound disgusting, you should get it because, like, it's not.
It's not. Yeah, maybe it could change your opinion of it without having had it.
But other than that, see ya episode 160 something, whatever we're on. Who knows?
60 million or pints. Go watch that. Those are a lot shorter. Unless, I mean, if you made it this far, maybe you're into long shit. But the pints are a lot shorter. It's a very quick and hey,
there's a lot of them though, so you can watch them all.
That's true. Yeah. If you haven't seen them at all, there's a lot of them. So,
all right, see ya.
Thanks.